So taking a short break, obviously we're working on Kevin Z right now, but we had somebody show up and something special, something unique, something that you just don't see anymore, and something that I really, really want more of to come to the shop. Yes, an FC, and an all-stock one at that. We'll pop the engine bay later. Oh, or now. This is the owner, Christian.
What's up, guys?
He's had this car. It's making a weird noise right now from the trans. We're gonna go for a short test drive to see what it is. Hopefully we can get that fixed. This car is really clean. It's really gorgeous. Everything is stock. Exactly the way it should be. And it sounds amazing too. Just a really gentle purr. Nothing crazy, nothing ridiculous. No lumps, no nothing. Perfect.
There's no power steering wise. Definitely putting some hair on my chest.
Oh yeah. It can be rough.
Feels good. Yeah, it's smooth. The AC sucks so much power out of this thing. It feels like a whole different car when you turn the AC off.
Yeah, that's that low power life. Oops.
You gotta...
Hey. All right, car's on the lift. First thing we're gonna do, because this noise is really atypical with the symptoms. First thing we're gonna do is we're gonna check to see if there's enough fluid in the transmission so that, you know, it's just not a weird noise because there's low oil level. So that should be an easy thing to check first. So we'll know where to go from there. Man, it sure is hot down here. All right, drain plug out. Not a single drop of oil came out. Could be good, could be bad. We don't know where the level's at. We'll check to see where that's at. Probably put some more in just in case, and then go from there. It's all a process. Next step. So fortunately or unfortunately, however you want to look at it, the trans is serviced correctly. There's plenty of oil in it. It's right to the top. So that moves us to the next point, which is to start the car and actually figure it out while I'm sitting under it.
Any gas or?
No, not at all. It'll just start spinning by itself. All right, good. All right, just a little tiny bit of gas. You hear that? Can you hear it? Can you hear it? That's the noise. So that's the noise that he's talking about, that clang, clang. Oh, you hear it, you hear it. So it looks like this trans is definitely gonna have to come down. So exciting, exciting, exciting. We get to drop a trans on an FC. We're looking for a problem. Hopefully we find it. So let's do that. So as exciting as a trans drop is, it's still a trans drop. It's a pretty basic job. Start with the simple stuff. Start on the inside. As mint as this interior is, I bagged the seat. I don't want to get any of my me on this car. So first step is to remove the shift knob. Easy stuff, you know. Slide this off. And then we gotta remove that boot, and then there should be some more silly stuff under there. Sorry. All right, didn't film the exhaust coming out. My bad. It was heavy, just too much, but it's out. It's on the floor. You see that. So the next step is to do the main part of the job, which is drop the trans. But to get to it, it's got all the factory heat shielding, and not all of it needs to come off, just this big piece. So once that's off, the drive shaft will come out. And after the drive shaft, then we can work on that brace right there. Then the bolts, and then the whole thing just drops out. So maybe like another 6, 7, 13 hours worth of work. No big deal. All right, so that's strike 2 for me. Didn't record the most important part of this whole video. Boop. The trans drop. Anyway, I guess that doesn't really matter, huh? It's out. So now we're gonna look inside and see what we can see, and see if we can figure out that noise. Whoa. What just happened? Alright, so things got a little silly. The trans fought me, and obviously I won, but the battle was intense. Like, I've never seen Game of Thrones, but it was like a Game of Thrones type thing. And the camera was not running for any of it. The job took way too long, and let's just say it was a very humbling experience to get my ass beat by an FC. But that will never happen again with that trans, and it was a learning experience. So what happened was I took a break today from Kevin's car to work on that because he just showed up, so I figured I would knock that out real quick. And relatively speaking, I did, but also not really. Once everything was down, we ruled that it wasn't a throwout bearing issue, it wasn't a clutch issue, it wasn't anything issue. Come to find out, inside of the FC housing, the gear set comes pretty far into the bell housing. I didn't know that. So the sound that we were hearing that I pointed out earlier was coming from the front. And when you spin the shaft by hand, you can actually feel a lot of resistance. It's if you can imagine spinning a shaft full of like marbles is what it felt like. It wasn't smooth. It wasn't typical of what it should feel like. So that sound might actually be a real problem. But I advised him to drive it until it breaks, if and when it does. And we basically left it at that. He already had plans to swap a Miata trans in there anyway, so he's not really heartbroken about it. So that's fortunate. But he definitely will be back. And when he comes back, I'll get more shots of that FC. It's so beautiful and so stock. Go check out Kevin's build series. It's gonna be pretty intense. We're trying to make it to summer vibes. So enjoy.